All right, guys, this forgiveness thing is really an issue for me. And not even in terms of not being able to forgive others, it's really this forgiving myself issue. And I don't know why it keeps coming up in just different areas of my life, different at different times. And it came up recently again because I was talking to a friend and I was telling her basically I was trying to work something out with someone. And I was telling her how this is going, blah, 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 it's not working out, et cetera, et cetera. And she asked me, why are you so desperate to make things that won't work out? Like, why are you so desperate to make things that don't, situations that don't work out for you or serve you in the best possible way? Why do you want them to work out so much? And honestly, I think I hate failing. I hate feeling like I failed at something. And when it comes to relationships or jobs, or like I want to pick up a skill or a hobby or entrepreneurship, whatever's, I always feel like if it doesn't work out, it's my fault somewhere or the other. And sometimes it is. Sometimes I mess up. But the fact that I put 100% of the blame of everything not working out on myself, I finally come to the conclusion that it's not healthy. And if you're someone like me who you do the same thing and you feel like if something doesn't work out, it's your fault, and you feel that responsibility as well, then this video is to basically tell you that it's okay, that it's not all on you. And honestly, when I think about what the Bible says about loving your neighbor as yourself and forgiving one another, that loving your neighbor as yourself verse, I love saying it, I love using it, but I never actually applied the yourself part to it. So, for example, there's two passages that I like, especially as I talk about this. Leviticus 18:19 and was it 19:18? One of the two. And Matthew 22:39 talk about loving your neighbor as yourself. And that yourself part always gets me because I don't feel like I extend that love that I do to my neighbor to myself at times. Like I feel like I should be harder or harsher on people than I am to myself. And it's one of the things about faith and Christianity that I notice a lot when it comes to like preachings and Bible studies and stuff is people emphasize so much on how we should always treat one another. And the elements of like self-love or the messages of self-love don't get preached enough. And I think it's because it sounds selfish if you tell yourself to love, like if you tell people to love themselves. It sounds selfish, like we want to be politically correct and place an emphasis on the other person or other people and how they feel and how we treat them. But we never ask ourselves, how do we feel about ourselves? How do we feel about what we're going through or what we're experiencing? And for me, that's been an issue for so many years where I feel I don't appreciate or I don't give myself enough grace or compassion. Where Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind and compassionate to one another. And the one another part for me is like, all right, cool, I can do that. But when it comes to doing it for myself, it's like a foreign language. And it's funny because the conversation I was having with my friend, when we were talking about relationships and just ourselves in general, she was telling me how, oh, I'm just pretty and I have a pretty face and that's probably all I have going for me or whatever. She said that to me like months ago and repeated something similar again in our recent conversation. And it's so funny to me how people don't see the best in themselves or we don't see the best in ourselves. And I think it happens with me as well. I don't see the good in myself. I'm always finding fault or trying to critique or finding an issue with something I do. And I'm telling her, I'm like, no, you're more than that. A lot of people say that they feel like you're a godly woman, you're compassionate, you're kind, etc. You're not more than just your looks. And it's something that she's working on, trying to make it click. And a lot of our friendship is us finding ways to motivate each other to move past our faults, basically. And she's the one that's helping me realize this I can't forgive myself part. And I'm helping her realize this, you're more than just this part. So, long story short, the kindness and compassion and forgiveness and love that we like to emphasize showing to other people, I think it's time that a lot of us start showing that to ourselves. And I know I'm putting this video out as kind of message to the world, but this camera is really a mirror of me like looking at myself and saying, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you should be doing. Stop being so harsh on yourself. And I think one thing that a lot of us can do to move past this behavior or this way of thinking is the more we let God order our steps and God direct us to certain decisions or certain actions or certain relationships, certain jobs, whatever, the less we start to feel like we're failing. Because if God sends something to me, I know it's for me. It's not going to fail me. But if I constantly put my desires or what I think is best, and I put that at the forefront of my mind and I chase that, and it fails, there's nobody else to blame but myself. Because if I allowed God to come into my life and direct me, I wouldn't be facing the same, feelings that I face when something doesn't work out. So, long story short, I need to be kinder to myself. A lot of us need to be kinder to ourselves. And hope this video helps you guys. Hope this video helps me, really.